Today we're going to take a look at this slider made by Pro Media Gear, so let's take a look. We're going to go back to our tripod and head review series in the next few weeks, but before we do that we have a few other projects to review that we got well before Photokina 2016, and the one that we shall look at today is a motorized slider by the Illinois-based company Pro Media Gear. Since we started reviewing products here on LensVid around 2.5 years ago, and even more so since we started working on our vegan food channel a few months ago, finding ways to add production value to our videos has been increasingly important. One of the most versatile accessories that we tested and are still using extensively in this respect is the Syrp Genie Mini, which allows us to create smooth continuous turning movement with our camera, or even more useful for some of our products filming, rotating the product itself. The next step is being able to move the camera forwards and backwards smoothly. We tested our first slider here on LensVid about 1.5 years ago. It was the square slider by the Korean manufacturer Compact. To be honest, the slider was not really ready for the market. However, the Pro Media Gear slider that we are going to look at today is something completely different and by far one of our favorite accessories of 2016. As usual, we wrote down our impressions in a number of short points. Let's start with the build quality and materials. The Pro Media Gear slider is probably one of the most well-built accessories that we have ever used. It is carved out of a large single aluminum block, making it extremely robust. You can see on the screen right now how a man can hang from a slider in a video that the company released. The Pro Media Gear slider has a very special dual-sided design. One side of the slider is straight while the other side is curved. Although this isn't the first slider to implement this design, it is the only motorized unit that we know of that can do this, and certainly the only one that can change from one side to the next with a motor part in a matter of seconds. We shall go into this shortly. The slider has well over a dozen 1/4" 20 threads spread across the entire body, legs and the carriage for connecting accessories and basically anything that you might want. There are also 4 bubble levels, 2 on the sides and 2 on the carriage. The carriage itself is large and very sturdy like the rest of the slider. It has 2 knobs, one for locking the carriage in place and the other for connecting the carriage to the slider. By opening this knob, you can remove the entire carriage, for example in order to put it in the other side of the slider. The legs of the slider are really nice. They are also made out of aluminum and they have a very convenient large rubber locks. Once you open the lock, you can turn the leg to the other side. Simple, but actually quite ingenious. Besides that, you can also fold the legs completely for transport. Using the Pro Media Gear slider is very simple. When we first got the unit and we took it out of the very nice padded carrying case it came in, even without reading the instructions, who read instructions anyway, right? We were able to connect the motor and the carriage in under 1 minute. When we compare this to many of the much more complex motorized sliders currently on the market, you can see how this can actually be a huge advantage. In order to use the slider, you will have to connect the motor to the controller and put 3 AA batteries inside of it. Turn the controller on and choose a mode. You can pick a time-lapse mode, for which you will need to get a shutter release cable which is right for your specific type of camera, a loop mode or a video mode. The time-lapse mode, which we actually didn't use since we didn't get a cable for our specific camera, allows you to control the length of the jump and the time between jumps. The loop mode will simply go back and forth at a determined speed, and the video mode will move at a determined speed and will be blocked at the sides of the slider. What we liked about the controller is the simple ability to control the speed, from very fast movement, which is kind of noisy and a bit shaky, to very slow movement. This type of slow movement is important as you can accelerate the video in post and get very smooth movement, at least for stationary objects. Although we find the slider to be fantastic overall, there are a couple of small things that we would be very happy if Pro Media Gear will add or improve in the future. The simplest one is just to sell the controller unit with an arm that you can connect to the side and won't spin. We might still prefer our own solution, which is a small cheese plate with 2 quick releases and a simple ball head, but it might look a bit too DIY for most people. A second thing, which is a little bit less obvious, might be to integrate a much stronger motor that will allow a full-size DSLR camera to be moved vertically in a steep angle without a problem, something that you can't really do with the existing motor. This needs to be done in a way that will not harm the ability to perform slow, accurate movement and might not be super simple to accomplish. We would also like to see a wireless module added to the package as an option. We really love what Syrp has done with the app of the Genie Mini, and we would like to see something similar made by Pro Media Gear that will allow users to control the slider and program precise controlling functions such as stopping at a predetermined position and starting after a certain amount of time, for example. Finally, we would like to see a version where the batteries are placed within the motor itself. In this way, and with a wireless unit, you will be able to have a cable-free motorized slider. From our experience, although the cable is long enough, it can sometimes get in the way and entangled with the movement of the slider. Over the past 3 months, we really learned to appreciate the Pro Media Gear motorized slider. Actually, we can see ourselves without it even for one video. The ability to shoot a smooth, consistent sliding motion quickly every time the first time is now part of our workflow for every video that we make. The Pro Media Gear 24-inch slider isn't exactly inexpensive. The slider itself costs $700 with another $550 for the motor and controller and an extra $50 for the clamp. A really useful accessory in our opinion, by the way. So you're looking at around $1,300 in total. You might be able to get it as a kit for less, but in our opinion the quality and added production value that you will be getting for your money is extremely high. If you're a professional video shooter and you need a super robust, quick and easy to set up and use motorized slider with both straight and curved options, we can highly recommend the Pro Media Gear sliders. We feel that the 24-inch version that we have used is more than enough. We would actually like to see 12-inch and 15-inch options as well, but Pro Media Gear does offer longer options up to 48 inches if you need them. So this was our look at the Pro Media Gear 24-inch motorized slider. You can read the full review on LensVid.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.